Aloha friends and welcome to my channel Tasty Healthy. Today we are making one of my favorite meals, basil pesto pasta. And if you're liking the channel so far, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you want to see more videos as they come out, hit the notifications bell. And if you like a recipe, go ahead and click on the like button. Mahalo, thank you for joining us today. And we're going to start with the pesto. And we're going to start by adding 8 ounces of basil. Usually buy 2 4-ounce packs. That's usually how they come in our health food store. And just make sure there's no bruises, no little holes from snails. Sometimes there can be diseases from those little snails, so make sure you take away all the bruised basil, kale. We're going to be using kale today as well. Same thing. A lot of times they get little holes or bruises from critters, and there's actually some very serious diseases. At University of Hawaii, our medical school president had a disease he died from that was from a snail. So make sure that you always wash your veggies really well. I like to use grapefruit seed extract, and yeah, just soak it in there for a few minutes before taking it out. So 8 ounces of basil, and then 4 tablespoons of olive oil I just put in. And then we're going to go ahead and add, I'm going to go ahead and blend first. Doing a lot of blending in this recipe. And we're going to add at least 1 spring onion. You can add more if you want a little more spiciness, but 1 spring onion is usually enough. And I like to add it in the beginning because it adds a little bit more water. And as we add the kale, it gets a little bit more challenging for the blender. So depending on what kind of blender you have, usually try to push it all down on one side and let the pesto come up on the other side. So then we're going to add 1 cup of baby kale. And I don't know if you've ever learned this, but baby plants are the best. So as much as you can eat baby plants, the more baby plants you can eat, the better, especially if you're older. It just adds so much more vitality. Baby plants are the strongest. They have the most life, nutrients, especially with kale. Usually with kale, this dinosaur kale, they kind of have a little purple tint in the middle. They're a lot smaller than the adult parent kale. So yeah, in Hawaii we call them keikis. Keiki means child. So the keiki plants are always the strongest. And that's kind of true of people too. Kids have so much energy in life and vitality. So yeah, as much as you can do that, make sure to get those little babies. Sometimes I think people throw them away. You know, they pull off the basils and there's like tiny little ones. I always take my time and pick those little babies off and put them in. Make sure to get them in. So yeah, you may want to add a little bit more olive oil as you go. I think you can never have enough olive oil, but maybe, I don't know. I was watching something recently with Dr. Weil, and he said that olive oil is like tops when it comes to anti-inflammatory. So really good. I think he said Italians consume like a, what did he say? It was like a full bottle of olive oil every week. They consume a lot. So yeah, get a lot more olive oil if your body tolerates it. Definitely add olive oil to your life. It's usually not good with high heat. I'd rather use coconut oil with the high heat. But definitely add some more olive oil to your life. Okay, so now we're going to add in some garlic, cloves. If you're not a fan of garlic, maybe just one clove. And if you are like me, I usually add about 3. Or you might fall in the middle. And you can also add a shallot, just kind of like a baby onion. Shallot adds a little bit more spiciness, but if you don't like a lot of spiciness, you can leave it out. But the more of these kinds of things you can get into your diet, the better. Garlic, onions, shallots. Adds a lot of onions, garlic, I think. Yeah, they have a lot of quercetin, which also is anti-inflammatory. So yeah, take a little time to get the blender to blend all of these. I need to go pick up my Vitamix. I meant to get it this past week, but I had one before, but I've just been using this this one here, which works okay, but the Vitamix is way better. But then with the Vitamix, you kind of sometimes have to turn it down a little. Okay, so now we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of hemp seeds. Give it a little bit of nuttiness, kind of help it to stick together. And then we're going to add in a pinch of salt and pepper. Sea salt or Himalayan salt, both of those are very good salts. Add a little bit more olive oil. Get it to really blend. Like I said, I think it probably is just fine if you add quite a bit more olive oil. It really depends on your blender. And this blender takes a little time to blend. Usually like to take the rubber scraper down the sides and stir it around. I think we're almost there. And I still have on my fingernails Key West is Best. Color Street Key West is Best. It is a brighter purple color. It looks brighter in some light than other lights. But I have the link down below in the notes if you want to try it out yourself. It's definitely a hot summer color. And we've got like another month of summer left, depending on where you live. So Enjoy your summers, people. Enjoy your summers, friends. It's been a beautiful summer, a little bit on the hot side for me. I don't know about everyone else, but okay, so adding in the salt and pepper. And with pesto, lots of different ways to make pesto, but I think, you know, with this diet, I think the best nuts are coconuts and hazelnuts and almonds. I think are the safest nuts on the body. They're the most kind to the body. But it really just depends on your body. But I think for the majority of people, I think almonds, coconuts, and hazelnuts are the kindest nuts out of all of them. Okay, this blender is giving me a run for my money. Put a note in the comments below if you have a blender that's fun like this. Let me know when you're going to order your Vitamix. Definitely ordering mine soon. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it. You may want to, like I said, add a little salt and pepper in. So this diet, fresh is best. I say it in every video, fresh is best. So what does that mean? That means we always try to eat the food within the first day of picking up at the grocery store. And if it's not eaten by the second day, then we put it in the freezer. And we absolutely do not eat anything past the 4th day because bacteria just continues to grow, and the less you add to your body, the better. So fresh is best. And I have discovered freezing things is actually not so bad. It's pretty good. Keeps it fresh, and it's always there ready to go. I especially love having soups in the freezer, all ready to go to eat for lunch or dinner, and even sometimes breakfast. Soup doesn't have to be a dinner thing. Okay, so now we've got our pesto. I put it in a container here, and we have steamed our spaghetti squash. And usually spaghetti squash, we'll usually cut it in half and then cut each half in fourths. And then I usually will use half of a half, or maybe a whole half. But whatever I don't use, I usually put in the freezer, and it freezes well and it stays well, stays fresh. So it's really nice. A very good alternative to pasta. I'm part Italian, so I definitely miss having pasta all the time. But for now, we are lowering those carbs. So spaghetti squash is a wonderful alternative. It's definitely stringy like noodles, and also very anti-inflammatory. And it tastes really good with sauces, so it's delicious. I like it. So if you haven't ever tried spaghetti squash, go ahead and try it. And it's not always at the health food store. Sometimes I have to go to Pavilions. This one is organic. I got it at Pavilions. You can get it in the organic section of your grocery store, probably. If not, you could always order it online. But it's delicious. I love it. So I just threw it in the steamer in between while I was making my pesto. And I'm just going to scrape off the seeds and then scrape off the inside. And you just have this nice tiny skin. You can throw in the trash. I usually like to break it up a little, and then usually I'll add a little bit of oil. For me, it's usually coconut since I have candida, a little bit of overgrowth on the candida right now. So just go ahead and add some oil if you like. Make sure it is the good kind of fats. Coconut oil and olive oil are my tops. Usually with heat, high heat, it's coconut oil, and olive oil is not very good with high heat. The high heat destroys the nutrition qualities. So, okay, so now we're going to mix in the pesto. Usually if you're doing this serving size, 1 or 2 servings, use about half of it. And I love my pasta swimming in sauce, so we are swimming in sauce. You just kind of have to mix it in thoroughly. The squash kind of likes to stick to the bottom, so you gotta pick it up, kind of fold it in, stir it thoroughly. And came out a really nice green pesto. So yummy. I love pesto sauce. Basil is really energizing for my body. I don't know about yours, but it's really energizing for me, and I always feel better. It's very warming, so I think especially if you fall on the thin side or a little extra love inside, you probably love basil. Okay, and then usually I put a little bit of hemp seeds on top, add a little bit of nuttiness, give it a little bit of a garnish. And yeah, most of my recipes is usually 2 to 3 servings. I would say, to be on the safe side, about 2 servings. So you can double, triple, quadruple, however many times you want. You can add more so that you are getting the right serving size. And then usually I like to garnish all of my dishes with a little garnish. And I think for this one, I'm just going to add just a leaf of basil. I think that's perfect. So I'm just going to grab 1 leaf of basil. I think I had 1 left. Yeah, just put it right there on top. And there you have it. So thank you so much, mahalo nui friends, for joining us today. Hope you're enjoying videos, and aloha friends.